Dance among yourselves. I'm waiting for the microphone. Okay. He's just making me wait to get really nervous because I'm not a public speaker. Good afternoon. We're so happy you're here in person and on live stream. First of all, thank you to my church, Severna Park United Methodist, for sponsoring this or hosting this event. They also sponsor the Baltimore Brass, who play here every Christmas and Easter. And so for a plug for them, they will be playing 2 30-minute mini concerts before the 7 and 9 p.m. Christmas Eve services. So you're welcome to come hear that and stay for the service. It's a great church, very welcoming and friendly. They snagged me a year ago, just saying. 143 Music Collaborative was an idea that I had 9 years ago as an opportunity for my professional musician friends to perform chamber music they love with people they love, or maybe learn to love eventually. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of the term 143 as it relates to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. More than I thought. Okay, those who know about it, ask the people that raised their hand. Don't know, ask the people that raised their hand, me or Ray. We'll be happy to tell you. The clue is the word love. Concept for this group is unusual because we rehearse with our separate groups, with our separate pieces, and then we put it together on concert day with no formal dress rehearsal. It worked very well this time because Ty and Laura live on Kent Island, so it makes sense for them to pick a piece they could play together and rehearse together. Ray has been out of town a lot of the summer with his duo, Sylvan Water Duo, and most recently played at Disney. Also, he's really selfish and just wants to play solos by himself. So, the musicians do change each time. I've got a list of people that I have that I'll ask once I find the date in the venue. We usually perform in intimate venues. This is probably the largest venue we've played in, but it's in an octagon, it works. Some of our past venues have been a bicycle shop, very good acoustics, but no seating. You had to bring your own chair. Another one is a funeral home, which had plenty of seating and a live audience, in case you were wondering. And another one is a former train station, and the train did come by while we were playing. We didn't know when, So that was the surprise for everybody, so we had to stop and then restart. Now, without further ado, let's start by failing. How many men believe that they can multitask? How many women believe that men can multitask? Well, you'd be very surprised by Ray's abilities to multitask, even if it's just for this failing music. By the way, Ray, I'm putting you first on the program, and I'm totally setting you up to fail.
Because I think it's worth understanding what the composer had in mind. But Mary talked so long that I forgot what they were. So, I'm going to do the best I can to try to explain as the music progresses. In failing, I am required to read a long text while playing music written above the text. The text must be read out loud at a more or less normal pace, and I must not allow the music to slow me down. The task is fairly easy for a while because there is not much music, and most of it comes at the ends of clauses and sentences, almost like normal punctuation. Later on, there is more music, and the task becomes more difficult. So difficult, in fact, that I will probably not be able to do it without slowing down my reading speed or making mistakes in the music. At least the composer feels confident that I will eventually begin to run into trouble, which is why he called the piece Failing. So far, the task is still not that difficult. But the challenge is that as the piece becomes more difficult, I must continue reading the text at a normal pace and playing the music as well as possible, just as I did at the beginning. By now, I am already rather busy, just playing the notes and reading the text. But the text says that I should also try to listen to what I am doing as much as possible and speak loud enough to keep a balance between the speaking and the playing. Ideally, both the speaking and the music should flow easily and naturally, so that the audience can easily follow either element at any time. Sometimes the music has a strong aggressive quality, and I have to speak quite loudly to be heard. At other times, the music is lyrical, almost sentimental, and I must speak more softly, so that the speaking will not corrupt the music. But I should make sure that the text is always easy to understand. If my voice fluctuates too much with the rises and falls of the music, the text may become difficult to understand. And that too would be a form of failing, because the text makes it clear that the speaking should always be easy for the audience to understand, regardless of what happens musically. By now, this task is already rather challenging, but I have practiced the piece quite a bit. And that is a fact, as well as simply a line in the text. So unless I'm having a particularly bad day, I can still handle the music quite adequately without slowing down my delivery of the text. I should be able to keep everything well in tune and play the dynamic markings accurately. If I'm concentrating well, I should even be able to maintain a good balance between the speaking and the playing. And remember to make the text easy to understand, even though the mood of the music sometimes changes radically. But soon, the music becomes more difficult yet. And I will probably start failing in one way or another. I should point out, however, that I am not obliged to fail. After all, the audience cannot see the score I am reading, and no one would be wiser if I were to simply leave out whatever passages I am unable to play. People might be very impressed by my playing and think that I had succeeded in playing a piece which a composer thought could not be played successfully by any bass player. But of course, by leaving out the hardest parts like that, I would be cheating, and the performance would not really be a success at all, since the piece is about failing. By now, failing is extremely difficult. That is, the piece called Failing is extremely difficult. There are a few relaxed moments, now and then, but most of the time, I am required to play a tricky chromatic melody at a fast speed, and by now, I am probably beginning to fail in one way or another. Of course, I don't particularly enjoy failing, though sometimes I think it would be better if I cheated a little, so that I would not fail too badly, and so that people would be more impressed by my playing ability. But on the other hand, if I do my best and play most of the music well, it should be clear that I am doing the task as well as anyone can expect me to do it. Moreover, I will be interpreting the piece accurately, since it is obvious that failing is about failing. And if I succeed in playing everything accurately without slowing down my speaking, or cheating, or anything, I will fail to fail, and thus will miss the point. In a way, I almost wanted to fail, because everybody fails at certain times, and in certain ways anyway, and because that is what the piece is about, and because I want to interpret it appropriately. But of course, I must not try to fail. I must try to succeed in doing the task well, without slowing down, and without missing notes. Even though by now it is almost impossible to succeed for very long. If I tried to fail, that would be a kind of success and not a failure at all. So I must try to succeed. That way, when I fail to succeed, just like then, I will succeed in communicating the essence of the piece, even though I will fail to accomplish the task as it is set up. In other words, I will not be able to fail unless I am trying to succeed. And I won't succeed in interpreting the piece sensitively unless my performance turns out to be a failure. Or, putting it another way, I will probably succeed in failing to succeed, not only because the music is so difficult, but also because if I fail to succeed in failing to succeed, I will fail to fail and will miss the point. Since failing is obviously about failing, and since any successful performance must be a qualified failure. In any case, I'm continuing to read the text and play the music as well as possible. Under the circumstances, I'm attempting to maintain a normal pace and make the text comprehensible. And I'm probably continuing to fail. But I should not be failing quite as often now as I was before, because the music is returning to some of the more lyrical material. Even that material is difficult to play as expressively as I would like under the circumstances. But at least there is not much danger that I will miss notes. And if I concentrate, I can maintain a good balance between the speaking and the playing. Soon, however, I will be faced with a fresh difficulty. The text is about to run out. The text is about to run out. That's what it says. But the music continues for another minute or so. During that time, I must decide for myself what to talk about as I play. My remarks are to be genuinely improvised and should include specific references to this particular performance and to the degree to which I have been failing, or failing to fail, or failing to succeed to fail, or whatever. As before, I must continue to speak at a normal pace, in a normal tone of voice, and maintain a balance between the speakers. As an additional challenge, I am supposed to link the written part of the text with the improvised part so smoothly that no one will be able to tell exactly where the improvised speaking began and the text leaves off. This is the part of the piece where people say, oh look, there's a seam in the piece, and you failed to accomplish the task as it is set up. It's a sort of like left brain, right brain thing that Mary was talking about a few minutes ago, that men cannot multitask. So this is the part, if I'm going to fail at all, I'm going to fail here. So this is the part where I'm supposed to sum things up and say, well, I hope I didn't fail too badly. And a few people on live stream, sorry. But anyway, there's the rest of the program to get through, and I will say to you, for my failure, I apologize.
Hi, I'm Mark Simon. I'm the composer of this piece that you're about to hear, and I was asked to say a few words about it. I wrote it originally as accompaniment to a mime, someone who is going to wear he's dressed in the whole motley suit business, like a jester's outfit, and his whole act was, he was looking for something. I didn't quite know what he was looking for, but that's the title, Fools. It's a fool's quest. And now, Mary here, our fine oboist, is actually gone out of the way. She's going to sing this piece. I wrote it for a flute, a clarinet, and a singer. And the singer only has one word, do. So, it reflects the fool. He's going do, 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 do. And so that's the piece.
This next piece was written by my friend Lourdes Montgomery just last year. And this is the third of 3 panels of what she called a Frida Kahlo triptych. She wrote this to examine the works of Frida Kahlo through the artist throughout her career. And this particular thing is the last movement of that. Now, Frida lived a very difficult life in a lot of ways, both psychologically and physically. She painted a lot of her things as self-portraits. She painted them because she was so lonely so much of the time, and she felt that thing that the only way she can communicate with another soul is herself. Now this last painting, and I would please urge you, when you get home, take a look at the internet, look up Viva la Vida, the painting by Frida Kahlo. It's absolutely stunning. She wrote this, or she painted this rather, in the week before she died. And it's almost a self-portrait of a sort. Because if you see the painting, there's just these beautiful, ripe watermelons. And she's depicting almost a self-portrait in that underneath that hard shell, there was also a very soft, beautiful interior. And also the seeds were the life that she was trying to portray. When she got to the very end of her life, she wrote this. She said, "I hope the exit is joyful, and I hope never to return." So this is Viva la Vida by Lourdes Montgomery.
before I forget, which I did earlier, if you'd like to make a donation toward the live stream in AV, there's a basket outside when you leave. Everybody? Don't need it as good a time as we do. You don't need a shower.